I'm going to show you exactly what to do to no longer have cold feet or cold hands. Typically, what do people mostly do? They wear maybe triple socks. They put their feet next to a heater every morning. They might use compression stockings. They maybe try to hydrate their body, or maybe they actually put cayenne pepper in their socks. But the problem is, it might not last. This problem keeps coming back. And so, when you research this topic, kind of boils down to, well, maybe you have a thyroid problem, maybe you have peripheral artery disease, poor circulation, or maybe Raynaud's phenomena, where you have this circulatory problem where your extremities, like your fingers or even your toes, are blue because the body is not able to pump blood flow very effectively. Or maybe it's related to a nerve problem, a neuropathy, because you're diabetic. You might have what's called peripheral neuropathy. But what if you have none of these problems and your freaking feet are freezing all the time and your fingers are cold? What do you do? Today, I'm going to give you a good solution. And as a side note, if you do have Raynaud's phenomena, usually that's an autonomic nervous system problem and responds to B1. I would recommend taking the fat soluble version, benfotiamine, which can also, by the way, help you if you have peripheral neuropathy. But that's just a side note. There's a really amazing, simple, and expensive treatment to warm up your feet and hands. It involves exercising the arteries. Okay. The arteries have a muscle, it's a smooth muscle. And those muscles contract and relax. And that contraction is called vasoconstriction. And the relaxation is called vasodilation. So, what I'm going to recommend is you exercise that system once or twice a day, only spending maybe a minute and a half to 2 minutes each day. And this treatment actually increases the mitochondria in your blood vessels. It'll increase oxygen, circulation, and it'll really greatly help the autonomic nervous system. So, this is what you do: get a bucket, maybe a 5 gallon bucket, and fill about one third of it with ice and the rest with water. Okay, then you're going to stick your feet in it and your hands in it if your hands are cold. And you're going to wait for about 1 to 2 minutes when your feet and hands start to change and become slightly warmer. Now, what's happening is you're creating a hermetic effect. You're adding a mild stress, which might seem like a major stress. And what's going to happen is your body's going to start to adapt and the temperature of your feet are going to start to warm up over time, over maybe 3 to 4 or 5 days after doing this on a daily basis or even twice a day. And sometimes it might take a couple weeks. But this cold therapy, you would think that it just creates a vasoconstriction and gets rid of the blood flow, but you're actually creating a lot of communication into your feet and your hands. Also, pushing out a lot of lactic acid and waste products. And you're going to actually be probably very surprised how this works. Now, some of you are going, there's no way in heck I'm going to do this. But all I'm saying is you just might want to try it. Try it for 3 days. And I think you're going to be quite shocked how this is going to help you. It's probably the only thing that you haven't tried before, but it's going to work. Now, when I was in practice, a lot of the therapies and treatments that I did were totally opposite of what mainstream does. I mean, I had techniques like even for pain, like whether you have pain in your foot or your knee or a part of your body, people would come in, they would fly in from around the world for this chronic pain syndrome problem that no one was able to fix. And what would I do? So if they had a problem on the left side of their body, you know what I would do? I would work on the opposite side. I would work on the good side. And the results I got were unbelievable. If you haven't seen any of my videos on pain relief, you can do a search on that. But when I was in practice, boy, these techniques were just highly effective and people got results within a very short period of time. Whereas traditionally, and also the way I was taught, is you do therapy on where you hurt. Well, the same thing applies to a lot of other things in healthcare, and especially if you have cold feet. I mean, the last thing that you would even imagine to do would be to add more cold to cold feet. The same thing with exercise, right? There's all sorts of high level athletes and Olympic athletes that train in low oxygen or high altitudes where there's thin air to add a stress to get their body to adapt to become stronger and more fit. I mean, I'll give you another example. I had one lady, she was an opera singer, okay? And she flew in from somewhere in the United States. It wasn't close by. She heard from a friend who told her from another friend that I got good results with laryngitis and harshness of the throat. She had this huge event that she had to sing, and not being able to perform was a major, major problem because he was scheduled and like within a week. So she flew out to see me, and she had this scratchy throat right through here, right? This scratchy hoarseness throat. And what did I do? I did work on the opposite side in the back part of her neck. And I have videos of how to do this. And I pretty much did this like through the day, like every 2 hours through like 1 or 2 days. By the end of the first day, it was probably 50% better. By the end of the second day, it was close to 80 to 90% better. So all I'm saying is you should just try this technique to see if it works, and then comment down below, and then I'll go ahead and read the comments. I think you're going to find that it's very effective. Now, since we're on the topic of circulation, if you do have peripheral neuropathy and you haven't watched this video, it might be a good idea. And I put that video up right here.